Wow. All right, all right, all right, all right. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're joining from. I want to say we are very grateful for joining in. Let me see. Let me check in on the comments now. Let me check in to see those that are joining us. My name is Terry Omodibo. And I want to say I'm pretty excited about tonight's section. All right. Now, this is the first time I'll be doing a live section on my Facebook profile, on my personal profile. All this while I've been having sections going in on my private community. But today I just felt it'll be a great time to actually let some of those who are following me on social media, on my Facebook profile, also be a part of some of the juices that we'll be dishing out, all right, to to those with our private community. All right, so I want to say, well done, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be joining us from. I want to say, thank you for joining me on tonight's section. This is the beginning of this section today. This is the beginning of a series, all right. It's the beginning of a series. All right, so the topic is something that I'm very passionate about and pretty excited that it's going to spark up it's going to inspire a lot of people. It's going to spark up lots of conversations after tonight. Okay, so like I said, I've seen some people already joining me live. All right, if you're joining me live, I want to say good evening. I want to say thank you, Dennis Sin, Sheko. All right, thank you for. Yeah, I've seen that already. Joining me live. Thank you so much. All right, it's been an awesome time. All right, so thank you so much for joining live. So one of the things what you can do for me is if you're joining me live, okay, just let me know on what platform you're joining me from. So because right now this live video is being streamed on my YouTube channel. So if you want to join my YouTube channel, you can also go to Terry Omodibo. Just click Terry Omodibo on my YouTube channel. I just search for this video. You're going to see the live video going on. All right, Terry Omodibo, that's the code. All right, and for those who are part of my community, also it's also being streamed live on my private community, the Leading Beyond Success. I'm going to talk more about that as we go. All right, and also it's also streamed live on my Facebook profile. So I'm pretty excited because I get to do this for those who have been following me for years, seeing all my content, seeing all my flyers, seeing all the sections I've been doing privately on Zoom, on my private community. But today I just decided to take this out there. And also, I've been doing some stuff too on my Instagram profile, but I just thought about that. I also need to have something going for those who have been following me on my Facebook profile. So right now, this is just a full dose, just a bouquet for everyone who's been joining. So I want to say thank you to everyone. So if you're joining me live tonight, please let me know where you're joining me from, your location. Your location will be great. All right, so I'm based from the location, from this location. And also, you also want to let me know where you're joining me from. Which of these channels are you joining me from? Are you joining from my profile? And also, are you joining me from my Facebook community, or you're joining me from the YouTube channel? So whichever way, just let me know you're joining. And also, you want to also give the StreamYard, or the application, live streaming application we're using right now. If you want us to see, you're joining for, you want us to see it and be able to say this on the video, you want to us to just click on the link, all right, on the Facebook link, and it will allow you to be able to let us see you from the back end, see your name, and be able to see that from right here, back from the back end. So click on that link and let me know where you're joining me from before we're going to hit this today. So let me just hold on a bit and just look through and see if I have people joining me so I can be able to, recognize you. All right, I'm going to recognize you and put you live on the video. Okay, great. All right, so like I said, if you're joining me live, please let me know where you're joining me from. Let me know you're joining me from. It'll be great. I see a lot of people joining me live right now. Some people have already engaged on this video. Thank you so much for joining in. Please let me know, go a step further. Let me know your name. Let me know where you're joining me from. And also, great, awesome, great. I see them coming in right now. All right, thank you so much, Fumi Omotola. Thank you, you're joining me. All right, so let us know where you're joining me from. I put that on the screen already. Let me know where you're joining me from, and it'd be great to also let me know which of the platforms you're joining me from. So your name, your location would be great, and then let us know where you're joining from. All right, Fumi Omotola joining in from Lagos. Joining in from Lagos. Thank you so much for joining in. All right, we have more people joining in before we hit this. I'm going to start up in another 2 minutes, okay, because we have, all right, tonight's conversation is going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So I want to also give the opportunity to our speaker tonight to be able to dive deeply within the next 50 minutes. So in another 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to be starting. But let me give opportunities for those who are joining me to be able to put in their name, all right, put in your name, your location, and where you are joining me from. All right, great. That's great. That's great. Great. Thank you so much, everyone joining in. So let me put that on the screen. Thank you for joining the live stream of Predator Branding Series. Let me know where you're joining me from. That'll be great. Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. So we're gonna be starting in another 2 minutes. Let me give opportunity for those who are joining to let us know where they're joining from and their location. So let us know where you're joining from and your location. And also, if you want us to be able to see from the back end and probably put it on the screen, you want to give the application we're using, just go on top of this video. You're going to see a link there. Please click it on and then allow the application StreamYard to be able to allow us to see you from the back end and put your name and location on the video. All right, great. Thank you so much, everyone joining in. Yeah, I see a lot of people right now joining in and engaging. Thank you. Take a step forward and let us know where you're joining me from. That'll be great. I'll be so excited to let me know exactly where you're joining me from. And also, we're going to be starting very shortly, because we don't have so much time to have this conversation tonight. This is the beginning of a series. All right, it's the beginning of a series. So we don't have so much time. It will also be great, all right, if you, in the course of the conversation, also you want to also, it's going to be very interactive. So I will appreciate if you also drop questions or drop able to engage the video. Let us know the things that resonate with you in the course of the conversation. Okay, let us know the things that resonate with you in the course of the conversation, so other people can be able or see those things and also be able to learn from them. Right? This is going to be very interactive, so I will encourage that we engage. Okay, engage means type in the comments, go into the comments and engage. Okay, all right, so we can put that on the live video. And also, if anything resonates with you in the course of the conversation, please drop it in the comments, and then also give us the permission, give the application the permission to enable us to put that on the screen so everyone can see what and be inspired by tonight's section. So thank you everyone for joining. I see a lot of people joining live right now. Thank you for joining in. Please go ahead and engage in the video, love the video. All right, if you're on my Facebook profile, I will also want to encourage you to share the videos. Please click the share button and share the videos. If you are joining from my YouTube channel, please and also share this video. And then tag as many persons that you think will need this conversation tonight, them, and I encourage them to be a part of tonight's section. So it's going to be starting in shortly. We're going to start it right away. Tonight, I have a very interesting conversation. I just came up a few days ago, so I just thinking a lot of people, yeah, we understand the concept of leadership. These are two broad areas, all right? The concept of personal branding and also the concept of leadership. So this conversation is just to see how does the isolation, all right, is there a link, all right, between them, all right? Is there a link between them? So that's why I've decided to come up with that topic. I'm going to put it on the screen right now. So everyone can see it, all right? I'm going to put that on the screen right now so everyone can see it, okay? So personal branding, a leadership obligation, all right? Positioning you for influence, okay? So is it really true that your personal brand is an obligation? It's a leadership obligation. Is it really true? Or if it's yes, so why do you think it's true? If it is not true, so why? Interesting conversation tonight. But I'm also going further to also have someone who is an expert, so able to dive in from a leadership perspective to actually tell us if it is actually a leadership obligation from his own standpoint. All right, he's a leadership expert and not just a leadership expert. He is a certified John Maxwell leadership coach. All right, certified John Maxwell leadership coach. And of course, everyone you know right now, all right, a lot of people know, and not just a lot of people, it has been claimed that John Maxwell has been claimed to be the number one leadership brand, a leadership expert in the world. So, all right. So, if anyone is being certified by him, of course, it's an authority and an expert in that field. So, I have a coach right now, all right here at the back end, who's going to also talk about it from a leadership standpoint. His personal brand, your personal brand, is a leadership, is a leadership obligation, is a leadership requirement. It is something you must focus on, or it is something that you can just play around with. What brand? Is it a cliche, or is this something that is very, very critical for you to do, or for you to engage in, or is it something that for you to intentionally begin to work on? Is this destructive world right now that we are in? Okay, so I'm not gonna, so I'm gonna bring him right now into the platform so we can dive into the topic. But before I do that, like I said, if you're joining me live right now, let us know where you are joining me from. So your name, where you're joining me from would be great. So I see someone, Innocent from Surulere. Innocent from Surulere, thank you for joining in. All right. So what you want to do is, if you are joining from my profile, please share. Click the share button. If you, all right, I'll tag as many persons that you think you're gonna need. Tag your friends, tag your loved ones, tag every of your friends that you know. You're gonna need this so that they can actually be a part of the tonight's conversation. If you're joining from my Facebook community, all right, you also want to be able to send this across to everybody. Tag as many persons in this video so they can join us for the conversation. And if you're joining from my YouTube channel, please engage, please like and subscribe so you can get the notifications we get in and be able to get the next series. But more importantly, please share the video to as many persons that you think is going to need this conversation. It's going to be an interesting one tonight. Trust me, all right, because I have an expert right here in the room. Okay, great. All right, so without much ado, let me bring in on a leadership coach into the room. Who's going to be diving, who's going to be sharing his own idea about tonight's topic. All right, thank you so much, sir. Can we give a resounding welcome to Adegoke Omotola, certified John Maxwell coach, a customer service experience expert, and he's going to tell you more about himself as we dive into the conversation tonight. So thank you so much for joining in, Mr. Adegoke Omotola. Thank you so much for joining in. And I just to give a shout out to our audience who are joining us live on all the multiple channels.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Terry. It's a pleasure being here. Hello, everyone. Trust your day has been well. It's such an honor to speak on this very powerful platform. My name is Adegoke Omotola. I'm a John Maxwell certified coach, speaker, and trainer. And I'm also a customer service trainer as well as coach. Tonight or this evening, this afternoon or morning, depending on where you're watching us from, we're just going to be adding powerful value on leadership and personal branding. And so I just want you to sit down and relax and try to share this page to as many of your friends as possible to also benefit from this very powerful session. Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity. This whole conversation was put together in the last 48 hours. So I want to say I'm very, very grateful for accepting to be on this first edition of this series tonight. All right, great. So I'm just going to dive into this. So before we talk about, I just want to also break this thing down into a very usable format that anyone out there can be able to appreciate this, because I know a lot of people, when you talk about leadership, sometimes you just think about leadership as the person who's in front of the room, all right? They think about leadership as the concept, as the pastor in front of on the pulpit, the CEO who is leading a great organization, maybe the leader out there who's getting massive results, who's doing big stuff out there. All right, so lots of concept, and I want to say that a lot of people also out there probably be thinking, okay, what this leadership thing? What is it all about? So you want to help us to demystify the concept of leadership first before we even talking about the personal branding part. What in your own words? I also want you to make it as simple as usable as possible. What do you think? What's this? Can you demystify for us? What's this concept of leadership? What's the concept of leadership in your own from your own standpoint as the expert, sir?
Thank you so much. I just want to take a cue from John C. Maxwell. In his own opinion, and his quote says, "Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less." And that's why we're also showing up this evening, this afternoon or morning, as the case may be. Leadership is influence, is the ability to help your followers or help those around you to shape their thoughts and to lead them in such a way that they will be able to take a decision or be able to also impact lives. Leadership is something that we need even at this moment in our nation. So leadership, I want to say, is influence, but in this instance, is positive influence. Positive influence. Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I love, yeah, awesome. So I like that fact. All right, I like that simple definition that was given by John Maxwell. I love the definition of the word influence. So it means everyone is a leader. Would I be able to be safe enough to say that everyone is a leader? All right, will I be safe enough to say that from this definition now, if it's influence, because I know that everyone has the capacity to influence somebody in one way or the other, either positively or negatively. All right. So will I be safe to say that concept, from your definition now and from the definition that you gave us right now, that everyone can be categorized to be a leader?
Yes. Yeah.
And also, you probably want to also tell us if that's true.
Yes. Well, everyone is a leader. But it depends on how you want to lead, how you want to show up. For example, if you are not able to lead yourself, you will not be able to lead others. So it takes us to competence. What do you know? What problems are you solving? What is your why? Who are you called to? What challenges have you solved in the past? What results do you have? And these are the the KPIs that will allow you to lead other people. And so if you don't have results, if you have not been able to solve problems, if you don't have a message, you find it very difficult to lead others. And even if you lead others, if you are not able to continue to reinvent yourself, you find it very challenging to show up continuously. And that's why some leaders, they plateau after a while, because what has happened is that they've not been able to grow themselves, and they've not been able to inspire. Leadership is hard work. Leadership is sacrifice. Leadership is consistency. Leadership is integrity. You must have core values, those values that you stand for, and so that you are not easily distracted. Because even while you are leading, you are open, you are like an open book. Your followers will criticize you, your family members will criticize you, and so you have to keep your eyes on the ball. And so, but there has to be a connection between leadership and followership. Because if you are leading and no one is following you, it's like you're taking a walk in the park. So you have to lead with clarity, you have to lead with purpose, you have to lead with a vision that is enduring, and you have to lead with a legacy-driven mindset. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so I think that's a good landing. That's a good soft landing for us to actually take off we're here tonight to talk about very simple. So personal branding, and is it a leadership obligation? Or is this something that you must do? All right, since you were able to tell us that right now, you'll be able to say that it's everyone is a leader, all right. Although it depends on the reference point, but that means it is a requirement. Okay, all right. Everyone has a capacity. So before we dive into talking about and dwelling about tonight's topic, let me just quickly. Okay, okay, great. So let me just quickly let me just quickly say this. Thank everyone who's been joining us. I want to appreciate Salome Buari joining from Ileife. Okay, thank you so much,
Yes.
Salome, for joining all the way from Ileife. Thank you so much for joining in for tonight's conversation. All right, so let me see. Let me put that on the screen. All right, so I promise I'm going to put that on the screen. Let me put that on the screen. Okay, Salome, thank you. All right. So, Salome, you want also share this video to as many persons that you know is going to be part of tonight's conversation. Share this video, tag as many persons that you can. And also, like I said, if there's something that resonates with you in the course of the conversation, please put it on the comments. We're going to put that on the screen, on the screen, so everyone can see that and learn from it. Okay. And also, as much as possible, engage this video. All right, engage the video. Let's see the energy. Let's see the energy as we go. And I believe, like I said, it's going to be an awesome journey. So let me go back to you, sir. And also, before I go back to our guest for tonight, if you have questions in the course of the conversation, please also feel free to drop into the comments. I'm going to take that as we roll. And also, if you have something that resonates with you in terms of contributions to the conversation, tonight is just going to be interactive. It's going to be interactive. So if you have contributions, please also drop into the comments. I'm going to read that out. Trust me, I'm going to read that out so everyone can be able to benefit from this conversation tonight. Okay, great. So let's go back over to you, sir. Over to you, sir. Okay, so tonight is all about talking about, like I said, talking about personal branding. Personal branding. Is it something that's a leadership requirement or not? But before we dive into that quickly, you want to also tell us in your own way, in your own understanding, what do you think is personal branding? All right. To the layman, you want to explain that to the layperson there who probably have been hearing this cliche for a very long time now. They've been there hearing this thing. I don't pretty understand what personal brand is all about. Do you want to also just help us to just define that in a very usable format that everyone there can be able to understand?
Well, thank you so much, Terry. Yeah, that's a good question. Personal branding is about you having a relationship with yourself, identifying who you are. Like I said, you can't give what you don't have, and so it's your relationship with you first. Your relationship with you, not with others. Your relationship with you. Then eventually you can now take that out. So it's about defining your uniqueness. Who are you? What is unique about you? It's about knowing what your message is, what problems you are here to solve. It's about discovering your purpose. It's about discovering what makes you you, what makes you a person of value. It's about knowing, like I said, it's about knowing your core values. And so personal branding is, is your reputation precedes you. Your reputation precedes you as a person. So what reputation do you have? For example, if I ask, our listeners, what do you stand for? And even I just want to do a quick test, just put your name in Google and Google your name. What comes out on Google on the first page? What are those things? Your social media profile, your website, those articles that you have published. Have you written any book? Have you spoken in any fora? Have you added value to people's lives? So, so there has to be that digital aspect of your life. So your personal brand is your message. You have the three W's: your who, your what, and your why. So all those three KPIs have to be combined together. So your personal brand is a delicate balance that you have to strike, you know, in such a way that you have to make sure that you work on it continuously. It's a, like I always say, your personal brand is a marathon. It's not a sprint, and so it's something you must guard jealously. Is you don't throw your brand just around and okay, say, oh, this is who you are today, and tomorrow you change. You have to be consistent, and you have to know how to position it in such a way that it continues to bring traction for you. So I just like to leave it at that before we can now begin to take it further. Thank you so much, Terry.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Thank you for that. I just want to just say this. I just define this as simply as possible. I saw this somewhere and I loved it. Okay, like I said, let's make it as usable as possible. I know you are also a business coach, so so let me put it this way: the way the Amazon guy said it. Amazon guy, Jeff Bezos, all right? He said this so simply and it's stuck. And I'm going to say it for the purpose of our viewers who are joining us live in the concept of if you want to know exactly what is your personal brand, if you want to know exactly what is your personal brand, I'll say the way is what people say or think about you when you're not there. What people say, or what people think about you when you're not there, when you're not in the room. So it is very critical to be able to form the right impression about yourself in the lives of people. So it doesn't mean you have to be able to be faking yourself, or it doesn't mean you have to dispute or whatever, be unauthentic, all right? It means you are real with yourself, but you've put yourself in such a way that you are, like you said at the beginning, you are a leader, you influence people. So, but in terms of whether you are even saying something or you're not saying something, like I said in the last, I used to say in the last 30 minutes, in the last 15 minutes, you've influenced somebody. All right. Just, okay. Let me say this critically. Okay. So I went yesterday. I went to go. I just commented on someone's post. All right. An influencer. I went there to make a comment, just a comment on her post. Okay. She did it a lot right up on the on the content, talked about fantastic content. So I just went in on the comments and just make just a comment about what I think about what she said. All right, just a comment, and then people were coming to like my comment. Okay, so that is very instructive because I'm very intentional about what I'm putting out there. So, like I said, it's about influencing people, right? Like a speaker says, about influencing people, but more importantly, all right, what people think about what you're saying or what you're doing when you're not there. Okay, so I made the comment left there, but people came back there to come and see the things impression about who I am, even though they've not seen me. So it's simply about who you are, all right, what you stand for, where you're not in the room as well.
Thank you so much. I mean, I just said, I said it, that your reputation precedes you. Your reputation, it precedes you. But when you talk about reputation, is what people say about you, when you're not in the room, which is quite right. But even about when you look at your reputation, you don't just have a reputation without having anything in it. So that's why I said, you have to look at your core values. Who are you? What do you stand for? What problems are you solving? What results do you have? How many lives have you touched? What is your DNA? What is, what's your goal? What's your purpose? Are you driven by big things, or are you driven by just profits? How many lives are you intentional about it? So when you look at your personal brand, it's like it's like building, something. So you're creating something that has not existed before. And like I said, you have to be unique, because a lot of people just want to show up and copy other people's templates. But you must have something that is unique about you, something that can last, something that can outlive you. And so it's very important that as you build your personal brand, you have to run your own race, chart your own course. Because if you are distracted, you might want to begin to copy somebody else's brand. and you find out that after a while you lose momentum, you run out of steam. You know, right now, because the social media is awash with so many, people, everyone trying to, have a share of the market. And so it's not a time for you to do copycats. You can have mentors, you can have people that speak to you, but build your own brand and stay focused. Thank you. I hope you can hear me. Your sound is not coming
Awesome,
up.
awesome, awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome, great. All right. So if you're joining us tonight's conversation, please let us know where you're joining from. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Let
Okay.
us know where you're joining from, your name, your location. Okay, I can hear you loud and clear, and I think it's clear from my end. Okay, great. Okay, so like I said, if you're joining us right now, please let us know where you're joining us from. Your name, your location will be great, and also if you're joining from any of our channels or any of the platforms, you're joining from my profile. Please engage on this video. Tag as many persons that you think need to be part of tonight's conversation. So whether you're joining from my Facebook profile, if you're joining from the my community, the Leading Be Your Success community, also you want to engage on this video and tag as many persons that you think need to be a part of our community. Please, I'm going to drop that on the screen. It's going to scroll in, and also maybe I'm going to drop it on the comment, so you can also pick that from there. And also, if you're joining from the YouTube channel, you also want to share this video. So I'm going to come back again, and lastly, before I drop it on the comments, so we can also take your questions. Over to you, sir. So, what do you think? All right, what do you think is the relationship between personal branding and leadership? Is there a relationship with it? All right, because our topic tonight is personal branding a leadership obligation. All right, it's the personal branding a leadership obligation. So, do you think there's a relationship between personal branding and leadership? If there is, all right, we want to let us know those relationships, and of course, if not, so over to you, sir.
Yes, thank you. Good question. Now, your relationship and your personal brand, relationship between leadership and personal brand, it's very similar. They follow the same course, because, like I said, the first person that you need to lead is yourself. When you begin to lead yourself well, your leadership qualities begins to stand out. Yeah, when you work on your personal brand, people become attracted to you. They become, your message begins to resonate. You begin to stand out as a leader. You begin to wield more influence. People begin to listen to you. People begin to quote you. They begin to model you. People begin to you begin to have sort of like, you know a dominance in whatever in whatever sphere you find yourself. So leadership and personal branding, they work hand in hand. They're like Siamese twins, because if you don't lead yourself well, your brand will not be able to resonate. And that's why there's a difference between uh, uh, McDonald's and a small shop. McDonald's, they have core values, they have a brand, they have a logo, they have you know a slogan. They have Nike, Amazon. These are brands. But those who are leading those organizations, they have what they stand for. So, and they position themselves in such a way that they gain a lot of traction. So, when you talk about leadership and personal branding, even every leader must be able to have a message. Like I said, what is your why? Who are you called to? What is your, what are you, what is your intention out there? And it's like I said, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you don't start branding today. You don't start saying, okay, you're a leader today, and tomorrow you're no longer interested in leading. It's something that you must hold on to and guard jealously, and run your race focused and stay in the game. Continue to show up, you know, again and again and again and again. Thank you, sir.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I like the last part. You have to continue to show up, all right? Because, like I said at the beginning, whether you know it or you don't know it, like I said, in the last 10 minutes, in the last 15 minutes, based on your actions, based on your, sometimes even based on your, how do they call that now? Your reactions. All right. You're leading people. All right. You're leading people. You are not just leading people, you're influencing someone. All right. So how, to
Yeah.
what extent you're doing that is very, very critical. And today
Yeah.
it's even more critical. Is there anything like more critical? All right. Most critical in this age of the internet, okay? Because a lot of people right now look up to social media for answers, okay? All right. Somebody, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, that somebody drew my attention to what's on the Facebook page. You know, when you want to type something on Facebook. It was last year. I think, yeah, it was during the lockdown that somebody brought my attention to it. That, do you know that when you want to post anything, what's written there is what's on your mind? I've never thought about that really until I like, that's true. That's true. It means right now people turn to the internet, people turn to social media to get answers. So if what you're putting out there, it's people are not getting value, people are not being influenced positively, of course, you're putting out your brand either positively or negatively. So it's very critical right now in this disruptive age. So very, very important. So let me take that as a follow-up question. So a follow-up question for you, sir. So how can a leader, if you say it is very critical for you to be able to brand yourself right because of this, so how can a leader now benefit? What are some of the benefits of putting yourself personal branding, so to speak? What are some of the benefits to you, sir?
Okay, thank you so much. Terry, I just want to appreciate you once again for bringing us on your platform to share our thoughts about leadership and personal branding. I want to also congratulate you. You're also a fellow John Maxwell team member, and you are showing up big time, adding value globally and not just locally. Because one thing about leadership,
Thank you
one thing
so much,
about
sir.
branding, yeah, one thing about branding is that you must scale up. It must be scalable. Your
Yeah.
branding must have what I call the the DARES, DARES. It must be digital. Your branding must not just be digital. It must also be automated. Your branding must also be recurring. Your branding must be evergreen, and your branding must be scalable. You know,
Wow,
so
wow, wow.
yeah, yeah. So if you have a brand and your personal brand is not digital, you are still very manually your approach. It's not automated. Then you're still not there yet. And your branding must also be recurring, which means that there must be income attached to it. A personal brand, just like Terry will say, if you are just online and you don't have any way of converting, you're not able to convert your followership into dollars and into pounds or naira, then you're just showing up, you're just wasting your brand. So you can see Terry is laughing.
I've been there for many years, so that's why I'm very passionate about that side. But tonight is not
Yeah.
about that side, right? If I want to talk about monetization, it's going to take the whole day, all right? So let's stick, all right? Don't get me into that right now. Don't get me.
I know, but we need to allow our listeners to know that look, personal branding is not just something that you talk about, but it's something that there's also the monetization part of personal brand, because it costs so much to build a personal brand, and it costs a lot of resources. The time you must, when you now begin to scale it up, you must have a team, that is in place, that is helping you to push that agenda. You must have the resources, because the reason why some people fizzle out after a while is because they run out of cash. It takes cash to sustain a personal brand. When you look at brands like Coca-Cola, they've been around for over 100 years. When you look at the Ford, they've been around for 100 years. McDonald's, you look at Kentucky, they're intentional about their brand. They continue to recalibrate. So when you look at personal branding, I would want to say that taking a cue from what we've been sharing about, personal branding is about how the message you want to put out there, and how the qualities, and how you want followership, and that's why you're building your brand. If you don't build it well, competition will take over, and they have a share of your business. And once they take over, you become just like an observer. So, and you don't want that to happen. So, in terms of branding, branding is about personal brand is about getting social. You can't want to brand and become an introvert, and you want to stay away from people. If you want to brand, it's about putting yourself out there in the public, like we are putting ourselves out there in the public. It must be intentional. You must be doing it on a daily basis. You must have a plan, daily plan, weekly plan, monthly plan, yearly plan. So it's not something you just come out for a few days and you run back inside. And I want to let our listeners know there's something called the imposter syndrome, which is when you begin to think that, oh, I'm not good enough. You begin to criticize yourself and say, look, I don't think I am. When you begin to see others that are doing well, and you get intimidated. Get into the right environment. Let's get mentors. Even as we are, speaking tonight, you can reach out to any one of us if you want us to help you to actualize that agenda, because you can't do it alone. Sometimes you get tired, you get weary. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. There's something you missed there. So I want to be able to say that again, because that's a masterclass on its own, right? That your brand must be daring, right? There's okay, so it must be digital. Okay, you see that you've hammered some strong part of me right now. All right, because I've been shouting that on the rooftop in the last couple of months. Okay, and it must be automated. That's another side to it. It must be recurring. You must make some money on it. All right. So the impact, it must be what, sir?
I will share that today. They should reach out to me. Let them reach out to me and the experts.
All right. So it must be. That's a master. I'm telling you. You see, it looks like an acronym. Okay, you can also say that, but those 5 areas that is.
I'll just share 3 today. I will share 3, and once they reach out, they can send us a DM.
All right. So those 5 things are heavy. I can tell you that because I've been there. Okay, I've been there, so I understand what he's trying to talk about. But this is not to scare anyone. All right, it's a journey. Okay, like he said, it's an investment. But this is how I will always say that personal branding costs. Yeah, it costs a lot, but it pays.
Yeah.
It costs, but it pays. There's a comment right now that I want to read out. All right, it's so long I would have put it on the screen, but it looks like a contribution. So let me just read it. I don't know if it's a question or a contribution. Let me read it first. And we also have a question from someone there too. So I have Ushena Umegoshuku. If I put this on the screen, it's going to disfigure. But let me just read it. It said, your personal brand distinguishes you from others in the marketplace. Awesome. Awesome. All right. It said, this brings about leadership because you are known for something which you represent and protect. Like John Maxwell will say, leadership is about influence, and branding is a term, name, or sign that distinguishes you from others and in turn influences them if well articulated. See that if well articulated is a journey. All right, if well articulated is a journey. So, but the good part is that you can start up that process. For some of us right now, if you've not been putting yourself out there the right way, like they said, anything that is not branded is a commodity. So you can brand products, but when it comes to your personal self, a lot of people shy away from it. So it's something that you have to be very intentional about. And I like what the way that Ushina Omegoshuku put it. Thank you so much for that comment. Thank you so much for that comment. We're running out of time. So I have also a question here. Let me take his question before I go to what I have. All right. So I have Salome here, Salome Buari, Olajide Buari. All right. Thank you for that question. So I'm going to read it. It's quite lengthy, but let's pick up what's important there. He said, I have a personal page which I dedicated in my in my personal. Okay, is that in or to? I have a personal page which I dedicated to. Okay, so to my personal, especially spiritual thoughts, celebrating close people's birthday and all. But on my business page, I try to keep to matters relating only to my company. My question is, sometimes I have the issue of coming a bit personal using the personal pronoun I, not corporate we. Is this related to personal branding issues? So let me allow Coach to answer that first before I make a comment.
Well, I mean, well done, Salome. Salome is somebody that I appreciate so much. She's one of my mentees, and you know, she's showing up massively, and I appreciate her so much. And Uchenna is also one of my close friends. So I want to appreciate both of them for showing up powerfully. They are very trusted and well appreciated friends of mine. Now, regarding I and we, when you begin to look at your brand, when you want to scale it up, you have to abandon the word I, you know, and begin to, have the vision of we. Because when people hear I, they look at, you as a one-man army, but when you hear we, they can trust your brand more. It's more assertive, it's more embracing, it's all embracing. And it shows that you have a big vision. So as opposed to so I want you to begin to then your page, your personal page, your personal life and your social. There's, when it comes to branding, there's no, there can't be, it can't be separated. Yes, it can't be separated. Your person and your brand and your and your and because what people see out there is you. They can't they don't separate it from, so you are the one representing the brand. So if you want to be operating your page, you see what happens is that sometimes we're shy. Like Terry now is putting this session on his page. He didn't put it on his groups, and it's very important, as you begin to do that, people begin to trust you more. When you look at Les Brown, you look at John C. Maxwell, you look at Michael Hyatt, you look at, Tony Robbins. Is it Tony Robbins? All these big speakers, their personal brand and their corporate brand, there's an alignment, because we are talking about leadership and personal branding. So, but when you want to begin to separate it, you find that there's a struggle. Whatever you are saying, as an individual, as a leader, people, it resonates outside even the space. Even if you don't say anything, like we said, people, when they Google you up, whatever you have said in your personal page, it's still the same thing. They take it that is what you mean, even that's what is representing your brand. So that's why we need to be careful what we say out there. Don't just, appear and begin to become very, very ethnic, very tribalistic, and, in your personal page and think that you will just stop there. You eventually will raise some dust and it might create a challenge for your personal brand or even for your leadership. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So I have a little twist to that. Thank you for that comment. So I'll just add a bit, but that's also another dicey area that you also want to focus on, you want to look at. So when, like you said, when you are online, all right, it's easier offline, all right, offline, you can use, you can be using whatever you want. But when you come online, you have to be very intentional about the pronouns you use, all right? You must be very intentional, okay? So people, like they said, the KRT factor, people do business with those they know, like, and trust. So if you don't have a personal touch with the people that you are creating content for, people you are serving, you're not going to get their trust in. So you have to be very, very intentional. So before you make a post out there, you must think it very well. You must edit it very well. You must You must be very, very purposeful. Now, that's a master class on its own. I don't want to talk about that right now because we have a direction for this and we are just about 10 minutes to the end of this conversation. But it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. But the most important part of it is that you have to be very, very intentional about it. Your content must agree. It must flow. All right. And every time you want to do it, there must be synchronicity. It must sync. What you post today must be syncing with what you are going to post tomorrow, even when you make a comment. So, because like I talked about when I was talking about a few minutes ago about a comment I make on somebody else's post. It's like when you make such kind of post and it's getting reaction, even if it's a comment, the next thing people will trail you to your page or your profile.
Yeah.
So they must be consistent with it. Like they say verb agreement. What verb agreement? That's in English, right? So right now on social media, there must be an agreement between wherever you are making comments and your page. There must be agreement. So you must be saying something else differently somewhere else, and you think people don't know you. All right, this is an internet. There's a whole lot in these parts. That's why when you mention the word digital, the first thing is digital. I say, you know what I'm talking about. This is it, but that's a whole lot that you have to be very intentional about. Like I said, it's a masterclass on its own, and it's not something we can talk about right now more deeply in just this small space. Okay, so we need to tie this up as quickly as possible. All right, so thank you so much, Salome Olajide Buhari, for that question, and also thank you, Ushe Shuku Omegu, Ushena Omegu Shuku, for that question. Very, very, very important. Okay, thank you, Coach Adegoke, and your interviewer, Teremo. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that question. I believe we're able to at least put you on the right track based on our own, based on the answers. Okay, so if you're just joining us, all right, although we are ending this conversation very shortly, but if you're joining us, please, or you're watching the replay, it would be great that you also make on the comment section. And also, even if you're watching the replay, we want to also see that. And then as you watch, whatever that resonates with you, please drop it on the comments. All right, and also tag as many persons that you know we need the conversation. And more importantly, please share this video to as many persons that you think needs it. It's very importantly, all right, very, very important that you do that. Very important to share to as many persons as possible, and then tag as many persons as possible. And then that's the whole part of this. And also engage in the conversation. Okay, so I have just a few questions I'm going to ask our coach tonight before I let you go. Okay, first few questions. So you talked about the benefits on a brand and also the benefit of leading the right way as a leader. So if there are benefits, of course, there must be some consequences. I know we've talked about it here and there in the course of the conversation, but for the benefit of those that are listening to us, do you want to like maybe list? I know some of us think in listing. Okay, when you list 5 things, 3 things, 4 things, or something, or just like a run through of the consequences not being able to have these skills on their personal branding skills? Are there consequences for not having them as a leader, or are there consequences for not branding yourself right, since you now understand that as a leader you're influencing people out there? Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Terry. I just want to use myself as an example. When I first started, entrepreneurship, I wasn't consistent. I didn't have a message that I, was able to hold on to. And so, today I'm this, tomorrow I'm that, and, I found out that I wasn't getting a lot of traction. People were not following me as they ought to. And even when they were following me, they were dropping off along the line. So when I became intentional, I realized that, it began to work. So one of the consequences is that when you don't have a personal brand, if you find out that you are not able to grow, which also takes us to values. If you don't have values, people don't know what you stand for. They're not likely, they won't trust you. They might like you, they might know you, but they might not trust you. So, but if you have a personal brand and you're consistent and you keep on showing up, you are digital, you are automated, you have a recurring platform. If you don't have a personal brand that is consistent, you won't be able to monetize it. So it's like, you're just showing up. It's as if just into entertainment. Even the entertainers, entertainers have a personal brand. They have, you must have a framework. You must have a business model, even for your personal brand. But if you don't have a framework, you don't have a model, that brand would not last. And that's why you see some people, they show up after about 1 year, they just fizzle out. But there's some brands, if you look at their consistency, you track them, you go on all the platforms, you see this, their message has remained the same, but the message has become authentic, and they continue to improve on it. So having a personal brand is a lot of work. So one of the consequences too is not having a personal brand. Also, it diminishes you. You are not able to have a voice. When out there, people will not want to listen to you. I mean, there's some people, when they speak, just look at Elon Musk, because of his brand. I mean, he's the owner of PayPal, he's the owner of Tesla, he has a space mission, so his brand, when he went into cryptocurrency, because he was there, everybody rushed into cryptocurrency. Yeah. And he said, okay, they would allow them to begin to use it for his Tesla. All of a sudden, he removed his brand from that space, and you can see what has happened to cryptocurrency. So if you have a brand, you show up there,
it dipped.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. So, but if it's the average man on the street, who does not have any brand, even if he puts $5,000 there, or 20,000, or gathers the money in his village, people will not. His impact will not be felt. But when you build a brand over the years, you build it consistently, you work on it, you raise the bar. What shows up is not just you. You begin to have followers. So if you don't have a personal brand, the consequence is that you will not be able to build followership. You will not be able to leave a legacy. You will not be able to monetize it. And even for yourself, you will not be able to live a life, of fulfillment. Thank you, sir. Because of time, I just want to leave it at that. Yes. So your
Awesome.
network.
Awesome. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
So I just want to reiterate a little bit, and I want Salome to listen to this. I think he's going to ask that question. So you talked about the Tesla, and I'm clear here. Are you clear on your side? Yeah. So you talked about what's his name, Elon Musk. Something just came to my mind, and I just want to say this for the purpose of Salome's question again, just to help her to move on. So when it talks about Tesla, it was Tesla that invested in cryptocurrency. Would it have gone up if it wasn't Elon Musk that invested in cryptocurrency? If it was Tesla, do you think there will be a difference in the terms of the pricing? So that's something to ponder about. That's something to ponder about. It affects the brand Tesla, all right? And even if it moves, like it moved for PayPal, any business it goes into, all right, its personal brand impacts those organizations. So that's a point to the fact that if I were you, all right, this is some of the mistakes I made in the past. If I were you, I'll focus on building a solid brand, very solid. I'll make a lot of noise with me, all right? Put my organization behind the brand.
You're already making a lot of noise.
A solid personal brand into impact on your business brand or your organizational brand. So, and that's the focus. So that's I just wanted to say that, all right, that's part of a masterclass that I put together for the weekend, but I just wanted to say that because Salome has been great on this and asked a lot of questions and been very, very, so that can help her. So this is what I would say if I ask my last question, because we're running out of time right now. If you're very, very serious, if you're very, very serious, I take this like a quote from me, all right? This is something I share everywhere. If you're very serious about building your dream life, then stepping into building and growing your personal brand is your next biggest task, all right? All right. So when our coach was talking right now, I was concluding. He mentioned the fact that if you are not building a brand, you cannot monetize. I'll talk about that after his last question. But this is what I said. He said, not only will you be able to create a lot of impact, but everything you do will multiply. So this is very, very critical that you do know where you're going to put your focus, especially today. I'm not talking about 2 years ago. I'm not talking about last year. I'm talking about today. All right. So let me go back to you, Coach.
Yeah.
All right. My last question for tonight. All right. I don't know if there's another question on the room, but let me share my last question for tonight. Okay. So this is for those who are business people. So how does your personal brand contribute to your business? How does your personal brand contribute to your business? I think I said a bit of this just now before I asked the question. But from your own end, sir, can you just in 1 minute before we wrap up this conversation, how does your personal brand contribute to your business? Over to you, sir.
Well, like I said, I mean, I'm a strong believer that your personal brand has so much to do on your business. Even when you go and take a loan in the bank, they will ask you for your personal guarantee. You know, because if you are not able to give your personal guarantee, even for a business loan, that I mean, a business that you are running, maybe like you are like the CEO or you're the chairman, the founder, nobody will want to invest in that business because they want your personal guarantee so that if the loan goes bad, they can always have a recourse to you. More so also for your business.
Sure,
If
sure,
if
sure,
your
sure.
personal brand is defective, it would affect your business. So you cannot divorce yourself from your business, unless you have even when you transit as a founder, you must still preserve that brand. And so there's a delicate balance there. So when we talk about leadership and personal branding, they're like Siamese twins. You must continue to grow yourself. You must be authentic. There must be integrity. You must have core values that you stand for. You can't be up here today and down there tomorrow. And also, there's certain things that you must watch. You must watch your utterances. You can't just speak casually. You can't just be posting things on social media without thinking through. It's not a time for you. Once you begin to build your brand, it's not a time to begin to get unnecessarily excited. You have to measure, particularly if you're in the space of leadership, I mean, authentic leadership. So in closing, I just want to say that I want to appreciate those that are on this platform and those that are going to be watching the replay. But I believe that personal branding and leadership, they work hand in hand. And so for your personal brand, it has an impact on your business brand. Because if you begin to deviate, look at what has happened to Bill Gates now. The fact that is going through a divorce is having a slight effect on Microsoft because I mean it's like people are now digging into his past. They want to get more. They want to know whether he's the same person that he had been presenting to the public. So one has to be careful in terms of a personal brand. You must guard it jealously, and you mustn't drop the ball. Thank you, Terry.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So thank you so much, Coach, for diving so deeply into today. We've been talking about, if you're just joining or you're watching the replay, we've been talking about personal branding and leadership obligation. Positioning, it helps to position you for influence, positioning you for influence. And I have my coach here in the room, a certified Joe Maxwell coach and a customer service expert, Adegoke Omotola, who has been actually taking this from different angles, talking about he was able to justify so far that if you actually want to grow in your leadership, you must consider having a personal brand, building a personal brand, having the skills, and be very intentional about what you do out there. So, what I encourage everyone to do tonight, all right, if you want more things from him, you also want to follow him on his pages, all right. I think it's Goke Omotola. Please confirm, sir, on Facebook, or let me allow you to do that. Let me allow you to do that, and also
Okay, let me just share
just
for those who
share
are
with our
following.
viewers. Yeah, you can share your handles and tell us if you have
Okay.
maybe 1 or 2 books or master classes or something that anyone who wants to get more details about how to
Okay.
actually position
Yes.
themselves out there can be able to get after now before we wrap up this.
Yeah. I'm just trying to type in. There's leadership talk with Adegoke. That's my podcast. It's on Instagram. Sorry, it's on Apple, and it's also on Spotify. And I also have my book, customer retention and experiential approach. That's on it's on Amazon. I also have selling in crisis. Selling in crisis. It's on Amazon. Um, then my Instagram handle is at first degree consulting. You can just bring it up. I've typed, the leadership talk, first
Okay,
degree
I'm going to do that.
consulting. That's on Instagram. Is our first degree consulting. Yeah, I brought that out.
Okay.
You can push that out. First degree consulting, and I'm also on Twitter.
Okay.
Twitter is at Gokitola. Gokitola on Twitter. Twitter is at Gokitola. I hope you have seen it in the chat. Okay, so once again, I have my podcast, Leadership Talk
In the
with
chat,
Adegoke.
I'm yet to see it.
Yeah.
I'm yet
Leadership. Oh, you're yet to see it. Oh, okay. Maybe you can't. You have not been able to.
I'm yet to see
Leadership
it.
Talk.
So what you do is mention it. Mention it.
Okay, Leadership Talk with Adegoke. That's the podcast. Leadership Talk with Adegoke. That's on Apple and is also on Spotify.
Okay.
We also have our courses on Udemy, world-class customer service. We also have fundamentals of business etiquette and personal grooming. That's on Udemy. And the third course is professional selling skills in crisis. Our Instagram handle is at first degree, 1ST degree consulting. That's the Instagram handle. And obviously, we're on Facebook as Adegoke Omotola. So for those that want to also reach our website is firstdegreeconsulting.net, 1stdegreeconsulting.net. That's our website. So we're just adding value, particularly our podcast. It's adding value to so many people. So you can also download it on Spotify and Apple. So thank you so much, Terry, for giving us this platform to add value and share knowledge. Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right, so thank you so much, Mr. Adegoke Omotola. Thank you so much for joining tonight. Like I said, this was conceived about 48 hours ago, and I just let's have this conversation. All right, that's one of the crosses or sacrifices of leadership. All right, being able, like you said, over time, being able to show up on spot, all right, without having to think about it and analyze. And I'm just so grateful that
Thanks,
you are
Terry.
showing up big time, and you showed up not just big time, you showed up so massively. So I just want in 1 minute, right now, maybe just want to share a parting word for our audience before I let you go, and then I wrap up this conversation. Just 1 minute, just a parting word for our listeners tonight. A parting word from you, sir.
I just want to say to our listeners from all over the world, those who are just watching or might be watching the replay, is that this is not a time to just get weary or tired. There's so much that is happening, particularly because of the pandemic. There's still the whole world is having a reset, but it's a time to show up just like we are showing up and adding value. And your message, your personal brand, there's some people that constantly they're watching you, they're getting inspired by what you do. And so just be encouraged that there's, even if they're not getting the kind of return in terms of monetary, but there's a life that you're touching. So once you're building your personal brand, you're showing up there publicly, you're adding value, eventually it will compound. It will compound. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you.
I'm giving you my own applause from this side. I want to say thank you. All right. As for those who are still joining in, you want to appreciate our speaker, our guest for tonight.
Thank
My
you.
guest for tonight.
Thank you.
It's been an awesome conversation in the last 50 minutes or so, and I believe it's very value adding. So what you can do for us is what you can do for us is very simple. Please share this video everywhere. Right? Share it. Make it go viral. All
Thank you.
right. Make it go viral, share it, and then also follow speaker on his social media handles. He has mentioned them. Also listen to the podcast and then get some of his resources to get some more information about this. And of course, do yourself good by go develop your personal brand and be the leader that you've been designed to be. So thank you so much, Mr. Adegoke Omotola, for joining in tonight on this series. It's the start of the series. I believe you'll be back on this show again.
Thank you so
So
much. Thank you, Terry.
let me allow you go right away and then end this conversation. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So I believe tonight has been very expository, very educative, very inspiring, very. Like, what would I put again? Give me another word there. All right, I've learned a lot, and I believe you are very value added. I believe you have learned a lot too. So, like I said, what you want to do is this section or this series is being streamed on my Facebook profile. For those who are listening right now, my Facebook profile is Terry Omotola. So please do follow, click the follow button so you can get notifications on many other times that are going to be coming up on this series. Sometimes it's going to be on Spore. All right, so just watch out for it. So please click the follow button and also click on my Instagram and also at Terry_Omotola. Click the follow button so you can get notifications. I think our next series, I'm going to be doing this on all my platforms. But for today, we're doing it on the Facebook profile. For those who are on the community right now, watching this from my Facebook community, private community, Leading Beyond Success community. Also, thank you so much for joining too. For those who want to be a part of that community, you can go right now, just type leading, as in leading, LEADING, and the others will come out. Just type it on Facebook search. You will see that Leading Beyond Success community. All right, it's a private Facebook group that we've been growing right now for many months right now. It's growing leaps and bounds. All right, it's going to leave some band, and very soon we're going to have a very heavy. We just ended a stretch, expand, and evolve summit just a few weeks back, and we're looking forward to another conference or a summit that's going to last for another 3 days. So we're doing a whole lot there to actually educate, add value, and inspire a lot of people. So I'm going to drop at the end of this comment. At the end of this conversation, I'm going to drop the link at the comment. So you want to go there and then click the joining button so you can be a part of the community. And also for those who are joining on my YouTube handle, please do me a favor by hitting the subscribe button and then share this video, engage on the video, make the comments, give us your feedback on what you have been able to learn from tonight's conversation. I'll be glad to get your feedback. And also follow me on all my handles. All on my handles except Instagram is Terry Omotola. On LinkedIn is Terry Omotola, but on Instagram is Terry_Omotola. So you want to follow me there. And also for those who want to take this further, you want to understand how do you sync, how do you build influence, how do you build influence using your personal brand? How do you get seen? How do you get noticed? A lot of people have struggled too. A lot of people have been struggling to actually see how they can get seen, how they can get known using the personal brand. How do you get seen? How do you get noticed? How do you be able to monetize your personal brand? So I put together a masterclass that's taking place this Saturday from 9 p.m. from 9 p.m. 8 p.m. this Saturday around on how you can actually it's a 2 days masterclass, how to be seen, how to be seen, how do you connect, and how do you monetize using your personal brand. We have a lot of Moodles out there that we're going to be talking about. We have a lot of Moodles. How do you position? How do you establish? How do you identify? How do you clarify your niche? How do you know your message? How do you actually get seen? How do you position yourself? How do you articulate your message? How do you communicate it? A whole lot of things that we're going to be talking about in those 2 masterclasses. And more importantly, you will also be getting you also be getting practical hands-on how you can also be able to create simple designs, create simple flyers, and also how you can also be able just to dive in on an introductory part of email marketing. So a whole lot we're going to be talking in that masterclass. So I'm also going to drop in the comments for those who see this and they want to take this further, and you want to be able to build, not just build, be able to monetize your brand and be the endless Elon Musk that people will be sorting after, the most sought after. All right. So I'm going to drop in the comments at the end of this conversation for those who want to do that, the link that you can use to join us on Saturday and Sunday at 8 p.m. on both days to learn this. So thank you everyone who's been a part of tonight's conversation. I am so grateful. All right. I am so grateful for joining me. This is my first on my personal profile on this. And I'm so grateful. I'm so glad that I did this today. All right. So what I want to encourage you, if you're watching the replay or you're still there live, please hit the share button, share this everywhere, engage in it, tag your friends, and just let this just go viral and let people know that the next big thing is about to happen. So thank you so much. I still remain your host, your host for tonight. My name is Terry Omotola. I'm also a John Maxwell coach. And I call myself a branding expert, and a leadership coach. So I have very simple what I do simply is that I teach professionals, I teach not just professionals, I teach entrepreneurs how to create systems, build processes, and also build competencies that will help them to able to expand, not just expand their influence, expand their impact, and be able to monetize at the end of the day and get income, generate income using your brand. So that's what I do. And until I come your way again at another series, please also allow us to hit the notification button so that you can get notified when we're going to start up this series again. The next series, most likely, is going to be maybe next week. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. I'm your host again, Terry Omotola, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.